Hi everyone, this is Trisha Thompson from Gluten-free Watchdog. I'm a little bit under the weather, so please excuse my raspy voice. Some important information came out last week that was quite concerning to many of you, and it had to do with a product that was labeled gluten-free, certified gluten-free by GFCO, but included a may contain traces of wheat on product packaging. And so I just wanted to stress again to everybody that when you see a processed in a facility that may processed wheat, processed on shared lines with wheat, made with the same equipment as wheat, and may contain traces of wheat, all of these statements mean the same thing. They are all may contain statements. They do not have to do with ingredients actually in a food product. They have to do with processing practices and the potential for cross contact with wheat or other allergens. So I just wanted to show you the label. This is what was sent to me on Twitter. And as you can see, it is labeled gluten-free and wheat-free, and it's certified by GFCO. And then over here, it says may contain traces of several things, including wheat. And again, this is allowed. There is nothing about this label that is not allowed under either the gluten-free labeling rule or the Food Allergen Labeling and Consumer Protection Act. In fact, let me pull something up on my iPad. This is what the FDA has to say about food allergen labeling. Oh, I'm getting quite a reflection there. And I don't know if I can read it, but it says, FALCPA labeling requirements do not apply to the potential or unintentional presence of major food allergens in foods resulting from cross-contact situations during manufacturing, e.g., because of shared equipment or processing lines. In the context of food allergens, cross-contact occurs when a residue or trace amount of an allergenic food becomes incorporated into another food not intended to contain it. FDA guidance for the food industry states that food allergen advisory statements, such as may contain or produced in a facility that also uses, and then the said allergen, should not be used as a substitute for adhering to current good manufacturing practices and must be truthful and not misleading. FDA is considering ways to best manage the use of these types of statements by manufacturers to better inform consumers. So I think the reason that the labeling on this particular product, which is made by the Atlanta Cheesecake Company, it's a Live G-free cheesecake sampler available at Aldi's. The reason that it was so confusing is because the may contain statement was very blunt. It said, may contain traces of wheat. But this is what all of these statements mean. If you see a product that says processed in a facility or processed using shared equipment, they all mean, quite bluntly, that the product may contain traces of wheat. But you have to keep in mind that, as I said in a prior video, the gluten-free label trumps this type of labeling, meaning that a product that's labeled gluten-free must contain less than 20 parts per million of gluten. And so if you have any concerns about a product that is labeled gluten-free and includes this type of may contain statement, it's important to call the manufacturer and ask them what they are doing in regards to testing. I spoke with someone at the Atlanta Cheesecake Factory. They thoroughly clean all of their equipment, all of their processing lines, and they swab test to make sure that there is no residual gluten on the line. They then test baked cheesecakes for gluten. They also test the packaging equipment for gluten, and they also send finished product to a third-party lab for testing. Not all manufacturers are doing all of this testing. This is actually considerable testing. So I hope this helps. I hope this helps clarify things. As I've said before, we really need FDA to step up and regulate may contain statements so that they actually mean something, because as they are now, they're voluntary. Some manufacturers are using them, other manufacturers are not using them. Some manufacturers who aren't using them, their products actually test higher when it comes to a gluten level than manufacturers who are using these types of statements. So you really cannot tell a whole lot from these may contain statements. You have to contact the manufacturer and ask them what they are doing with testing. So if you have any further questions, please feel free to post them in the comment section. Thank you so much.